guys, Julie Rocks here, and in this video I'm going to be inking this puppy. And I just sketched her the other day and she's kind of been sitting on my desk. I'll show you the first version, which isn't great. It's littered with anatomy issues, and I wasn't going to show you guys, but you know what, screw it. Here it is. Yeah, it's not great. I don't like it. Her hair looks weird, her body looks weird, her face looks weird, everything just looks strange. And I was frustrated, which, you know, when you have a vision in your mind and you can't seem to make it work, it's just so frustrating. So I put it away, and I was like, no, but I love the concept of someone walking with their nice long wispy hair just behind them. So I decided to get my huge sheet of Arteza watercolor paper. This is 11 by 14, and I decided to try it again. And I love this version. I think all I needed was a warm-up because since this piece here, I haven't drawn a person in like 2 months. So that was my warm-up. This is the real deal, and I love how it turned out. Hopefully I don't ruin it when adding ink, but if I do, hey, it's the name of the game. So yes, I'm gonna dive in, and the exciting part about this video is that I'm finally gonna use the pigments that I made using things found in my backyard, at the grocery store, berries, beets, things like that. So I'm finally going to use my homemade paints, and I'm so excited about that because I haven't touched them. Like, I've swatched them once and then I put them away. Story of my life. So yeah, I'm really excited to dive into this. Hopefully it turns out okay. We'll see what happens. If not, at the very least, I just want you guys to see how the paints work. That way you have a better idea in case it's a project that you want to do, make your own paints out of harvested materials. So yes, without further ado, I have my favorite Faber-Castell Artist Pitt pen in size small. Whenever I want to make dainty line works, this is what I use. I had a few microns, but like they dried up on me like that. And I bought them from a few different places, and like I kept the lids on and everything, and a couple weeks in they were just completely dry. So not really a fan of microns, huge fan of these guys, and also the Sharpie pen, which I absolutely love. So I'll probably be bouncing in between the two. Anywho, let's dive right in. So, honestly speaking, I've been in a pretty big art slump lately, which I'm just starting to bounce back from, but I haven't been very happy with a piece of art for a few months now. On top of having cabin fever, which I know is nothing new to a lot of you, and going through yet another career-related identity crisis. In short, I feel crazy. But creating something, one thing that I actually feel good about, was enough to slightly lift my spirits. And in my current emotional state, even a marginal increase in joy means the absolute world, so I'll gladly take it. This whole process made me realize how much I miss art, and I'll probably make a video talking about this soon. Just about being frustrated and uninspired with art, and then being tempted to walk away from it altogether. RIP hundreds of dollars spent on art supplies. But of course, once discovering your creative spirit, it's near impossible to turn your back on it altogether. It just becomes a part of you. It influences the way you see the world. And this is something that you can't really leave behind. Cue the yo-yoing effect of fighting your art, followed by being madly in love with it. It's a roller coaster, to say the least, but all great things in life aren't known to come easy, so I guess it's worth the battle. I know this video is meant to be about the handmade paints, and I'll talk about them shortly, but this is more than a channel of amateur art videos to me. It's a combination of art meets life, and all of the good, bad, and ugly that's intertwined with both. So if not entertaining, I hope that these videos are at least
somewhat relatable. Now, onto the paints. The colors that I relied on the most were the ones that were the most vibrant. So the yellow being the turmeric, the magenta being the beets, and the blue being the red cabbage. I also used the faint dark blue and purple, strawberry and blackcurrant, for the shadows. For her hair, I used black ink, since I didn't have a dark enough color. Honestly, I wasn't going to use my handmade paints for this piece, but after months of having them sit in my room, I suddenly found the urge to use them. And with the line work of this piece already completed and begging to be inked and colored, it was a match made in heaven. I was honestly taken aback by how great these paints were, in that they were a lot better than expected, at least. They took a while to activate. I had to drop some water in the pans and let them sit for a while before they were good to go. But once activated, the colors were quite lovely. It did take a few layers of paint to reach my desired hues, so it wasn't totally bright right from the start. Also, the hues I came out with were all midtones, so without the dark ink to balance everything out, it just wouldn't have looked right. Plus, the original concept was meant to be dark, long, wispy hair. In the previous video, when I was mulling my pigments, I mentioned that I didn't mull them for long enough, because I have the tendency to be quite impatient. So if you run your hand over this piece, you can definitely feel some of the paint particles. But this aside, it was a pretty cool experience to see the result of weeks of work, followed by months of procrastinating, come together in one work of art. And the end result isn't perfect. I know I have some anatomy issues that need to be ironed out, but I can proudly say that I pinned this up on my bulletin board. If not for the art itself, then for what it stands for. AKA pulling myself out of this long-lived rut, along with creating something and being so involved in the process. There was just a lot to feel good about here, and that in itself is pretty dang invaluable. As per the overall verdict, well, if you're looking to make some high-quality paints that are guaranteed to turn out at least somewhat decent, then you're probably better off buying pigment powder from a place that specializes in them. Shameless plug, I did order some pigments from a website called Color Rare, and they just arrived in the mail, so a video on that to come. But if you're intrigued by the process of deriving paints from natural materials and experimenting in terms of which dye products create what colors, then this entire process just might be up your alley. So if that is the case, then I recommend that you give it a shot. Have fun with it, and keep me posted on how it goes, whether you decide to find your own pigments from natural dye stuff, or whether you decide to just buy pigment powder and mull your own paints. Regardless, I want to hear about it. I want to hear about your process, all of the experimentation. If you have any tips, then I would absolutely love to hear about that. Until next time, stay creative, stay healthy, stay beautiful. Peace.